Chinese cars now cost half what a Mercedes does, and somehow they're 10 times more advanced. There is a Chinese supercar right now that hits 60 miles per hour in 1.9 seconds that's faster than gravity itself pulls a falling object to the same speed. You heard that right. A car made in China accelerates harder than the force that holds you to the earth, and it costs less than the European machines. It just humiliated. There are SUVs that float across rivers, sedans that read the road ahead and fix the bumps before you reach them, and a limousine so exclusive it makes a Rolls-Royce look like it rolled off an assembly line. And it all starts with a car so rare, so carefully guarded, that the Chinese government won't even let you buy one. The car they won't sell you. The Hongqi L5 is not a car you can walk into a dealership and buy. It's not a car you can order online, configure to your taste, or put on a waiting list for. This is the official state car of the People's Republic of China, the car that carries President Xi Jinping, and it exists on a level of exclusivity that makes a Rolls-Royce Phantom look like something you'd find on a rental lot. The name Hongqi translates to red flag, and the brand has been building limousines for Chinese heads of state since 1958. The L5 is its masterpiece. It stretches over 20 feet long, weighs nearly 7,000 pounds, and seats only 4 people in a cabin, lined with hand-carved wood, leather, and jade inlays that reference centuries of Chinese craftsmanship. Under the hood sits a 6-liter V12, producing over 400 horsepower, not because the car needs to be fast, but because a vehicle that carries the leader of 1.4 billion people must never hesitate. The price starts at around $800,000. And even at that figure, you still can't have one. It is reserved. It is a statement not of wealth, but of national capability. And that's the detail you need to hold on to. Because if China can build the most exclusive, most meticulously crafted automobile on the planet when money is no object, then everything that comes next, every car on this list priced at a fraction of what you'd expect, isn't cheap because China can't do better. It's cheap because China chose to make it accessible. And the first time you see that choice weaponized for pure performance, it will rewrite everything you thought you knew about supercars. The supercar that shouldn't exist. You're looking at a car that can jump. Not metaphorically, not as a marketing gimmick. The Yangwang U9 can physically lift all 4 wheels off the ground, using nothing but its suspension system, hop over a low obstacle, and land without breaking stride. It can dance its DCS X active suspension, synchronizing each wheel independently to bounce the car rhythmically in a parking lot while a crowd gathers around it filming on their phones. And if you blow a tire at speed, it doesn't care. It redistributes power and keeps driving on 3 wheels as if nothing happened. This is a car built by BYD, a company most of the world still associates with affordable commuter vehicles, and it produces 1,287 horsepower from 4 independent electric motors, 1 on each wheel. It hits 60 in under 2 seconds. Its body is carbon fiber. It was designed by Wolfgang Egger, the man who previously designed for Lamborghini, Audi, and Alfa Romeo, because BYD didn't just want a supercar, they wanted the man who already knew how to build the ones you worship. And the price $236,000 is less than the European machines it leaves behind at the drag strip. But here's what should really unsettle you. BYD didn't build the U9 to sell in volume. They built it to prove a point, that the technology inside this car, the motors, the suspension, the platform, could be scaled down into every vehicle beneath it. And that's exactly what they did. Because the next car on this list takes that same engineering philosophy and wraps it in something far more dangerous, a direct challenger to Rolls-Royce at less than half the price. Why the prices aren't a mistake. Before you see another car, you need to understand something. Because right now, the question sitting in the back of your mind is the same one everyone asks: how is this possible? How do you build a supercar that outruns a Bugatti, a limousine that outclasses a Rolls-Royce, and then price them below the competition? The answer isn't subsidies, it isn't cheap labor, and it isn't corner cutting, it's architecture. The entire cost structure of how China builds a car is fundamentally different from how Europe does it, and once you understand the 4 reasons why, every price tag on this list will stop looking like a mistake and start looking like an inevitability. The first reason is vertical integration, and no company on earth does it like BYD. They manufacture over 75% of their vehicle components in-house. Batteries, semiconductors, electric motors, power electronics, interior trim, exterior lighting, even the molds and production lines themselves. When BMW builds a car, it pays a battery supplier, a chip supplier, a motor supplier, and every one of those suppliers adds a margin. BYD has eliminated that entire chain. They mine their own lithium. They fabricate their own chips through BYD Semiconductor. When the global chip shortage shut down production lines at Ford and General Motors in 2021, BYD didn't just survive, they increased production. They were building the one part everyone else was desperate to buy. The second reason is the technology ecosystem. Huawei, Qualcomm, and CATL aren't just suppliers to China's car industry, they're partners embedded at the architecture level. Huawei builds full autonomous driving stacks and smart cockpit platforms. CATL produces battery cells that charge faster and last longer than anything available to European manufacturers. These aren't components you can simply purchase. They're collaborations that require years of integration, and right now, they only exist inside Chinese vehicles. The third reason is scale. China produced over 30 million vehicles last year. At that volume, every bolt, every sensor, every square inch of leather costs less. European luxury brands build in tens of thousands. Chinese manufacturers build in millions. The math is merciless. And the fourth reason is intent. The Chinese government treats automotive dominance the way the American government once treated the space race as a strategic national priority, backed by infrastructure investment, policy alignment, and long-term industrial planning that no single private company in Europe can replicate. These four forces don't just explain the pricing, they guarantee it. And every car you're about to see is proof that the gap between what China charges and what Europe charges isn't a discount, it's the true cost of building a car when nothing in your supply chain is wasted. Starting with a car that competes directly with Rolls-Royce and wins on everything except the badge. The Rolls-Royce killer at half the price. Now imagine you're standing in front of the Hongqi Guoya. It stretches over 17 feet long. There's a retractable badge rising from the hood, chrome detailing that catches the light like jewelry, and a presence so commanding it makes every other car in the parking lot feel apologetic. You'd swear you were looking at a Rolls-Royce. And you'd be closer to the truth than you think, because the man who designed this car is Giles Taylor, formerly the head of design at Rolls-Royce itself. Hongqi didn't just study the competition. They hired the man who created it. Under the hood sits a 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 hybrid producing 483 horsepower. Inside, you get a heads-up display, massaging seats in both rows, ambient lighting that shifts with your mood, and the option of a 4-seat configuration where the rear cabin becomes your private office. The materials are hand-stitched. The ride is air-suspended. The technology suite includes driver fatigue monitoring, pedestrian detection, and autonomous driving assists that were exclusive to the most expensive German sedans just 2 years ago. And the price around $200,000 for the base model, $256,000 fully loaded. A Rolls-Royce Ghost starts at $350,000 before you've ticked a single option. You're getting the same designer, the same silence, the same theater for nearly half. But the Goya only proves that China can compete with Rolls-Royce. The next car proves something far more uncomfortable that Mercedes-Benz already knows it can't compete alone. When a phone company humiliates Mercedes, this is where the story gets uncomfortable for European loyalists. The Maextro S800 is not built by a car company. It is built by Huawei, the telecommunications giant you know for smartphones and 5G infrastructure in partnership with Jack Motors. And in January of 2026, this sedan outsold the BMW 7 Series and the Mercedes-Maybach S-Class combined in China, not individually, combined. The S800 stretches over 216 inches long, 4 inches more than a Cadillac Escalade, and sits on a wheelbase of nearly 133 inches. The tri-motor variant produces 852 horsepower. It features rear-wheel steering that makes this enormous sedan pivot like something half its size, 32 advanced driver assistance sensors, and a cabin anchored by a 15.6-inch touchscreen for the driver and a 16-inch display for the front passenger. The rear windows dim with a swipe of your hand. The ride is tuned to rival the best air suspension systems in the segment. And prices start under $100,000, with the fully loaded version topping out at around $148,000. A comparably equipped Maybach S-Class costs well over $200,000, and yet the S800 isn't just matching it on spec, it's outselling it on home soil by a factor of 2 to 1. But the Maestro only humiliates European sedans. The next car humiliates the laws of physics, an SUV that can spin on its own axis, wade through 3 feet of water, and produce 1,100 horsepower while doing it. The SUV that defies physics. Picture this. You're watching an SUV the size of a small building rotate 360 degrees on a patch of asphalt no bigger than a parking space. All 4 wheels spinning in opposite directions. No 3-point turn. No reversing. Just a 7,000-pound machine pirouetting on its own axis like it weighs nothing. Now picture that same SUV driving into a river, not fording it, not wading through it, floating on it. Moving forward at nearly 2 miles per hour, with its wheels churning through the water, staying buoyant for up to 30 minutes. You'd assume this was a military prototype, something experimental, something that costs millions and will never reach civilian hands. It costs $180,000, and you can buy it right now. The Yangwang U8L is the long wheelbase flagship of BYD's luxury brand. It produces 1,180 horsepower from 4 independent electric motors, 1 on each wheel paired with a 2-liter turbocharged range extender that pushes the total range past 600 miles. It seats 6 across 3 rows. Its badges are plated in 24-karat gold. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds in an SUV that can float. A Range Rover starts at over $200,000 and can do none of this. A Mercedes G-Class starts higher and offers less. The U8L doesn't just compete in the luxury SUV segment, it embarrasses it. And yet BYD wasn't satisfied with rewriting the SUV rulebook. They turned the same quad-motor platform into a sports sedan designed to destroy the Bentley Flying Spur, and they gave it a suspension system that sees the future. The sedan that sees the future. Every luxury sedan on the planet reads the road beneath it. The Yangwang U7 reads the road ahead of it. Its D-SU-Z electromagnetic suspension, built on principles borrowed from maglev trains and aircraft carrier catapults, uses 3 LiDAR sensors and 13 cameras to scan the surface half a second before your wheels arrive. It then adjusts 1,000 times per second. Not once, not 10 times, 1,000. By the time you reach a pothole, a crack, a ridge of broken asphalt, the suspension has already rewritten itself to absorb it. You feel nothing. The road simply disappears. This is BYD's flagship sports sedan. 4 electric motors producing 1,287 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, identical to a Lamborghini Huracan Performante. 20 degrees of rear-wheel steering that gives this 17.5-foot sedan a turning radius smaller than a compact hatchback. An 800-volt platform that adds 300 miles of range in 10 minutes. Interior wrapped in semi-aniline leather and carbon fiber, and a starting price under $90,000. A Bentley Flying Spur starts above $220,000 and doesn't have predictive suspension. It doesn't have LiDAR. It doesn't scan the road ahead. At nearly 2.5 times the price, the Bentley offers you less technology and calls it heritage. But the U7 only disrupts the segment above it. The next car disrupts the one where most luxury buyers actually spend their money, and it does so with the most aggressive price gap on the entire list. The most direct price humiliation. Every car you've seen so far has competed at the top of the market. Supercars, flagship sedans, 6-figure SUVs. The Hongqi H9 does something different. It walks into the segment where most luxury buyers actually spend their money. The BMW 7 Series, the Mercedes S-Class. And it doesn't just undercut them, it humiliates them. You're looking at a 3-liter supercharged V6 paired with an 8-speed automatic, electronically controlled air suspension, a rear cabin with massaging seats, a theater-grade entertainment system, and a body built from 86% high-strength steel, matrix LED headlights, hidden door handles, ambient lighting that Hongqi calls dream wings, flowing along the body as you approach. The design language is unmistakably luxury waterfall grille, flowing proportions, a presence that fills a lane. The price: $55,000. A BMW 7 Series starts above $100,000. A Mercedes S-Class starts higher. You are getting a full-size luxury sedan with the ride, the cabin, and the technology of a six-figure European car for roughly half. There's no asterisk. No missing feature that explains the gap. Just a price that makes you question every assumption you've ever made about what luxury is supposed to cost. And the disruption doesn't stop at sedans. Because the next car on this list enters a category so empty, so completely uncontested, that no Western manufacturer has even attempted to build an answer. The answer to nothing. Here's what makes the Voya Taishan truly dangerous: it doesn't have a competitor. Not because it's the best in its class, but because its class didn't exist until it arrived. This is a 6-seat, full-size luxury SUV with a plug-in hybrid powertrain that delivers over 500 horsepower, covers 230 miles on electricity alone, and stretches to a total range of 870 miles when the 1.5-liter turbocharged range extender kicks in. It rides on China's first domestically developed 3-chamber air suspension. It sees the world through 4 LiDAR sensors running Huawei's most advanced autonomous driving system. And it starts at $53,000. Try to cross-shop this. A Lincoln Navigator doesn't have LiDAR. A Cadillac Escalade doesn't run 230 miles on a plug. A Range Rover doesn't offer this range at any price. The Taishan doesn't undercut the competition. It occupies a space the competition hasn't even mapped yet. But if the Taishan wins by having no rival, the next car wins by outgunning all of them, the most technologically dense SUV at its price point from any manufacturer on Earth. Technology without compromise. The Zeekr 9X doesn't win on one spec. It wins on all of them simultaneously. 900-volt architecture. 5 LiDAR sensors. Dual NVIDIA Thor chips running 1,400 trillion operations per second. A tri-motor hybrid powertrain producing 1,381 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds in a 6-seat family SUV. A CATL battery that charges from 20 to 80% in 8.5 minutes. A 3,800-watt NIO audio system, closed dual-chamber air suspension, and a starting price of $65,000. You could spend twice that on a Range Rover and still not match this spec sheet. You could spend 3 times that on a Bentley Bentayga and still lack the LiDAR, the charging speed, and the autonomous driving hardware. The Zeekr 9X is not the best Chinese SUV at its price. It's the most technologically complete SUV at its price from any manufacturer on Earth. But technology in a car is one thing. Technology that changes how you own a car, that's something else entirely. The car that changes how you own a car. Every manufacturer on this list is rethinking how a car drives. NIO is rethinking how a car refuels. The ET9 is their flagship sedan, 697 horsepower. 900-volt architecture that peaks at 925 volts, 600 kilowatts of charging power that adds 160 miles of range in 5 minutes. Its SkyRide fully active suspension controls each shock absorber independently through dedicated hydraulic pumps, making 1,000 adjustments per second. NIO's founder says it's a generation ahead of the Porsche Panamera's system. It has steer-by-wire, no mechanical connection between your hands and the wheels, a technology borrowed from aviation that no other production sedan in China offers. 3 LiDAR sensors, 23-inch wheels, a rear cabin with 2 14.5-inch OLED screens, a fold-out table, and a mini fridge. But here's what separates the ET9 from everything else. You pull into a NIO battery swap station, and in 3 minutes, not 30, not 15, a robotic platform drops your depleted battery and installs a fully charged one. You never plug in. You never wait. You leave with a full charge faster than you could fill a tank of petrol. No Western manufacturer has this infrastructure. No Western manufacturer is building it. The ET9 starts at $109,000. A Mercedes S-Class starts at $120,000 and asks you to sit at a charger. The NIO lets you swap and go. And it's not the only car on this list that proves China's real advantage isn't just the vehicle, it's the ecosystem behind it. 3 giants, 1 car. No single Western manufacturer could build the Avatr 12. Because no single Western manufacturer simultaneously controls the best chassis engineering, the best battery technology, and the best artificial intelligence platform on the planet, Chang'an builds it. CATL powers it with a battery that charges from 30 to 80% in 10 minutes on a 6C charging architecture, peaking at 560 kilowatts. And Huawei makes it intelligent 4 LiDAR sensors feeding into the ADS-4 autonomous driving system, one of the most advanced driver assistance platforms in production anywhere. The tri-motor all-wheel drive variant produces 955 horsepower. It hits 60 in under 3 seconds. The range stretches past 430 miles on a single charge. And it starts under $40,000. That number is not a typo. 3 industry titans pooled their best technology into one vehicle and priced it below a BMW 5 Series. The Avatr 12 isn't a car, it's an argument that collaboration at this scale produces results no single company can match. And if that argument needs a performance exclamation point, the next car delivers it with over 1,000 horsepower in a body you could drive to the grocery store. The final proof. The Zeekr 001FR produces 1,170 horsepower from 4 electric motors. It runs the quarter mile in 9.9 seconds. It hits 60 in 2.7. And it's a shooting brake, a practical everyday body style you could load with groceries on a Sunday morning. It costs $140,000. A European car with this performance costs north of $200,000 and asks you to sacrifice practicality to get it. And it's not alone. The Hongqi S9 offers a 6-seat electric SUV with near-flat reclining rear thrones, 510 horsepower, and 400 miles of range for $110,000. Less than a Mercedes EQS SUV that offers less rear theater. The ROC01 puts Huawei's smart cockpit into a coupe SUV with 570 horsepower and full highway autonomy for $70,000. A price that makes European SUV buyers deeply uncomfortable. And the Hi-Fi Z arrives with programmable RGB body panels that shift color on command, butterfly doors, and an AI companion physically built into the cabin for $80,000. It looks like nothing else on Earth, because nothing else on Earth has tried to be this. Every single one of these cars is a deliberate attack from a different angle. Performance, luxury, technology, autonomy, design. China isn't converging on one strategy. It's surrounding the entire European auto industry from every direction simultaneously. And that is the final, undeniable proof. Chinese cars are not cheaper because they cut corners. They are cheaper because China has rebuilt the entire cost architecture of the automobile from the ground up, and the gap between what China charges and what you've been paying was never a discount. It was the bill for a full century of Western inefficiency you were never supposed to see. Every badge you trusted, every price tag you accepted. Every time you were told that luxury had to cost this much, you were paying for a system that had never been forced to justify itself. China just sent the invoice. And the number on it should terrify every manufacturer in Europe.